Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chama of Chama Stitches, and today we are going to be making this beautiful long circled gown with a double gong exaggerated sleeve. It was a fun outfit to make. I had fun making it and I can't wait for you guys to see the finished look. And so to make this, I used a whole of 6 yards of Ankara and I barely managed the remaining 1.5 yards to complete the dress. So if you are making this for someone who is big or someone who is really tall, I will advise you use at least 8 yards to make this so that you have enough fabric to work with. All right, so to make this, what I did was I cut out my Ankara into 1.5 yards each. So I cut it into three. I cut out 1.5 yards, and then I took one of the 1.5 yards and I cut it in half, merging it selvages to selvages. I'm going to drop a link in the description box to the circle dress we made that showed a complete video of how we cut out a circle gown using this method. I'm going to drop the link in the description box. It was well explained, and that's the picture you see up there. So after cutting it in half, what I did was take out half of the one I have cut out, and this is it. So I'm going to pick out one and I'll place it on one of the other 1.5 inch that is still in whole piece. Okay, so I'm taking out the one I don't need right now. So I'm going to go ahead and join this one selvages to selvages. As you can see the way I'm merging it, I'm going to go ahead and join it selvages to selvages, and then I'll also pick up the other 1.5 inch that is remaining that is still whole, and I'll also join it with the other 1.5 inch that was cut into half. I don't know if you understand my explanation, but if this explanation is not giving you what you want, do well to check out that video on the circle dress. I promise you will not regret it because that video is well explained. Like I said, I will leave the link in the description box. Do well to check it out. Lately, we've had a lot of new subscribers join the family. I want to say thank you so much for joining us and you're welcome. And for the old subscribers, thank you so much for being with me from day one. You guys are my rock, and thank you for sticking around. Moving on, after joining the fabrics, please do well to also iron it neatly. And then for the remaining 1.5 yards of fabric that's left, that's what I used in cutting out the upper bodies. And I managed the fabric. When I say I managed it, I managed the fabric so I can use the leftover to also cut out the sleeve. So you cut out your basic block bodies with that, and I want to believe you guys know how to cut out your basic block bodies. And if you don't know how to cut out your basic block, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description box of another dress we made that you can check out how to draft your basic bodies with that. Okay, the darts I use the bust pan, that's a nipple to nipple measurement, and I'm going to go ahead and take out the darts for both the main fabric and the lining piece, and I'm taking out the darts separately and I'm going to go ahead and iron it. For the leftover fabric, I also use it to cut out my basic sleeve, and then what I did was, instead of cutting the end of the sleeve to be straight, I had to give it a curve, as you can see, and I give it a just pointy curve. So instead of cutting it straight up like this, I just give it this curve to give it the effect of the gong effect I want. Okay, so also, if you don't know how to draft your basic sleeve pattern, I'm going to leave a link in the description box as well for how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. It is pretty easy. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. So when you draft a basic sleeve for a gong, just make sure you add so many allowance. Instead of using your exact basic sleeve measurement, just go ahead and add extra. Increase it so that you can have excess for the fabric for your sleeve to be well exaggerated. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this pattern, and then we can continue. Also, because this is a layered sleeve, it is double layered. What I'm going to do is, after cutting out this one, I'm going to use this one as a pattern to cut out the upper one. And when you are cutting out the upper one, you are supposed to add extra allowance to the upper one, because the upper one is supposed to be like fuller than the lower one, and the upper one is shorter, so you're going to make it obviously shorter than this one. And I've taken out the darts. This is the back piece. I've taken out the darts, so I'm going to be joining it main fabric to main fabric and lining piece to lining piece. And so this is the zip line for the back piece. I'm going to be joining it to the back piece Ankara piece. Okay, I'm going to be joining it the Ankara to Ankara and the lining piece to a lining piece to keep this joining part very clean. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join it. I've joined it lining to lining and main fabric to main fabric. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the zipper for the back piece. And I also joined the back piece. I sewed from the part where I want the zip to stop, and I sewed all the way down. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach the zipper. And this is the sleeve. This is the sleeve. This is going to be the first layer of the sleeve. Of course, I cut two of it. Okay, so one is going to be the first layer and the other is going to come up just like that. And then this is going to be the top layer of the sleeve. This is going to be here. So when I cut it, I just slanted here and give it this really pointy end. So that is the effect I want the sleeve to have. So this is going to be stopping halfway on the sleeve. It's not going to get to the same direction. This one is going to get to the sleeve length, while this one will stop somewhere around the armhole. Okay, this is the top one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to iron peplon stay on this. I'm going to iron peplon stay on this completely. So this is the stay, and I'm going to iron on this. I'm going to use this to cut out the peplon stay. And when I cut it out, I am going to cut it and leave half of an inch. I'm going to make the peplon stay shorter than the fabric by half of an inch, so that when I conceal the fabric in, it is going to come out looking neat, so that it will not be hard to sew on this when I am sewing. I'm going to go ahead and sew it, leaving half of an inch all around the Ankara. So the peplon stay is going to be in between, and I'm going to be cutting out lining as well, exact lining of this, the same quantity of fabric. So now I'm going to take this out so I can trim out the half an inch all around. So I'm going to iron this, leaving half of an inch all around like so, half of an inch, and iron this inside of this. Alright, so I've cut out the lining piece, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is take out this, and I'm going to fold it like so. Fold it. I'm going to go ahead and sew here. I'm going to join here, and I will join here as well. And I'm going to bring it together and use it to conceal each other. So I've joined it, I've sewn the two of them together, as you can see, creating one big hole. And I've done the same thing for the lining piece, and I've turned the lining piece inside out. This is the right side of the lining piece. So I'm going to pass this lining piece inside here, pass it through here, and I'm going to align it to the down part of the sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and sew it, using it to conceal the sewing. I'm going to go ahead and sew it all around. I have gone ahead to sew it round. So what I'm going to do now is turn it in. Look at this, giving neat finishing, and then I'll push in this part inside. Look at this place now is going to conceal all of this sewing, looking inside here. So what I'm going to do now is merge these places together, merge the top with the lining together. In the case of this other top layer of the sleeve, I'm going to be sewing it with the sleeve straight up the way it is. I'm going to sew from one end to the other, and I'm going to make cuts around the curvy part so that I'll be able to turn it inside out. Okay, so I've ironed it. As you can see, I've ironed the sleeve, and this is the top. I've also ironed it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be pinning this on top of this like I did here. And because we want the one on the top to be fuller than the front, I think if you're doing yours, you should add more fabric to the top. Okay, but this one I already finished it, so I'm not going to be alter it again. So to add it, I just came up from the armhole, from the joining. I came up by 3.5 inches. So you come up by 3.5 inches, and then I'm going to start pinning this one from this side. I'm going to pin it like so. I'm going to come this way as well and get the 3.5 inches, and then I'm going to pin here as well. And so now I'm going to go ahead and gently pin this all around on the top. Pin it all around on the top like I've done here. Pin it all around, and then run a loose stitch round it. Now that loose stitch is the stitch you're going to use to gather it, to pull it together when you attach it to the main body of the dress. Okay, so this is how you get your sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling it gently. So as you're pulling it, it's gathering like this, it's giving you this effect. So I'm going to gently pull everything and gather it all the way to get the length. And meanwhile, measure the armhole you are going to attach it to before you pull it, so you don't make it too tight. You measure the armhole and be sure that it will be perfect for the armhole you are going to attach it to. I've sewn the zipper, so now I'm going to join the shoulders together by the shoulder. And as you can see, the same way I sew the lining to the lining together and the fabric to the fabric together, that's what I did for the front piece as well, concealing all the sewing inside like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulders so that we can prepare the collar. Okay, and so this is the collar we're going to be putting on this dress. It's a ready-made collar. You can get it from the market, from your fabric shop seller. Okay, but to align this to the neckline, so the neckline for this has to be 3 by 3 inches. For this is a 3 by 3 inches neckline, so 3 by 3 for the front and 3 by half an inch for the back. And do well to not add sewing allowance at the shoulder. That way this will fit perfectly on the collar you are going to attach. All right, that's for that. And then you measure this round, measure round the neckline to cut out the collar you are going to use. Just a straight collar like this, a straight bishop collar that you are going to be attaching to the neckline, and then you place this on top of that. So this is what I have, what I've cut out. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the neckline. Okay, so I'm going to sew on it first, then I'm going to turn it the other way and top stitch it before I can attach this to it. So I've sewn it the first layer. I've sewn the first layer. Now I'm going to turn it like this and I'm going to fold it in. I'm going to fold it in like so and then top stitch it like this. And so here I have sewn the bishop collar. So what I'm going to do now is attach this other collar to it. Okay, so this collar is going to come here directly on it like so, and this will be it. So what I'm going to do is open here like this and carefully sew it on the top of it, on top of this all the way to the end. So when you're done, this is going to be our collar, and then we'll join the sides and add the sleeve. And this is the beautiful work we have created. It came out really beautiful and my model is slaying. Thank you guys for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like this video, share, and also subscribe. Please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop new videos. See you in my next tutorial, and don't forget also to share this video so that this community can grow. And when you try yours, you can also share them with us on our Facebook sewing group at Creative Tailoring and Styling. See you guys in my next sewing tutorial. Stay positive, don't give up, keep trying. You're going to get there. I love you guys. Bye.